On today's episode of, I don't really like this guy that much, but he's definitely better than Bone Crusher, so that's a win. This is Studio Series 86 Scrapple. Uh, Full disclosure, I'm getting through this as quickly as I can because I really want to talk about Mixed Mastle. So let's go ahead and just start with his Blastoise. I will say this is probably my favorite mold of all of the Constructicon Blastoise. This size, whatever, but I do really like this look with this, like, port sticking out. This port sticking out. I think that looks neat. Reminds me of like a magazine on an actual gun. That's neat. Scrapple himself is fairly standard in terms of detailing, at least for an 86 feel. Maintaining mostly just flat stuff with some mechanical detailing along his arms, some on his chest, and like his just upper half. His head sculpt is very nice as well. I do like it. Looks a little funny, but that's Scrapple's head sculpt. It's what he looks like, so that's whatever. His legs are entirely made up of treads, just like Bone Crusher. I actually thought these were the exact same pieces. They were not, as far as I can tell. Especially his feet are actually different, which is neat. I also think he looks a whole lot better because he's not just green, he actually has purple on him, even though it does look a little bit like a giant diaper, but that's neither here nor there. Scoop on his arm, his scoop arm on his back looks fine. From the side is a little but honestly, Scavenger is one of those characters that he's kind of always gonna have a bit of a backpack just because of what he turns into. Yeah, from the back, not great looking because of these hollow bits, but he's honestly surprisingly full for someone that's, I would imagine, would have been done as cheaply as they could, but you know, it's whatever, honestly. Getting started with articulation, he's standard, and that's it. Technically a little below standard, just like all the other Constructicons. So head, he does not have his head's not on a ball joint, it's on a swivel, but because of his transformation joint, he can look down just a little bit. His head spins 360. Arms can go out that far, they can go up, or they can go around that far. And he does technically have just a tiny bit of a butterfly joint, since it's on a ball joint, if you really want to use it. It does have bicep swivel, and also elbow at just basically 90 degrees. No wrist swivel, just like the rest of the Constructicons. No waist, just like all the Constructicons. Legs can go forward, that far. They can go back, that far. They can go out this far. Thigh swivels, that can go all the way around. He has knees, which tab just like Bone Crushers, which I kind of think is annoying, but I get it for transformation purposes. About 90 degrees at the knee. Heels, or not heels, ankles that go 90 degrees. This side is much, just like Bone Crusher, this side's much rougher due to this piece, which is part of his full transformation. This side is much smoother. So yeah, his heels and toes do technically have articulation due to the transformation, allowing you to kind of do whatever you want, but you can't really use it for posing. So it's there, but you're not really gonna get much use out of it for the most part. Oh, no! Yeah, no. He also doesn't stand the best, which is something I noticed, because Bone Crusher had these little spikes that came off his heels. I don't have Bone Crusher on hand, but he had little spikes come off his heels. Scavenger doesn't. So while he's still got good heels because of just how back heavy he is, he's not great at standing up. Alright, so transformation on this guy is just like Bone Crusher, very simple. Although I do enjoy this a good bit more than Bone Crusher's because none of it is annoying. So we just start by folding his hands up, as always. Also, I didn't mention this, but his hands all painted green. They're cast in purple plastic. I don't like that. That definitely worries me, but it's whatever. It's not the worst thing ever. Anyway, fold up his head, then fold up his feet, and make sure they tab fully into each other. Then untab the cockpit, and then fold this arm, and, well, not fold it fully, untab it from the chest, and then pull the arm down so it flattens like this, and then this is kind of annoying. Make sure that tabs in, and then make sure that fully tabs in. There we go. This part is definitely more annoying. So again, you want to fold this partially, then you want to just flatten it, just like the other side. Then you want to bring that up, tab the cockpit in. Now, the really annoying part is getting this hinge into this slot. It is obviously doable. I think I did it. Oh, I think it appears I did it basically first try, right? Yeah. Honestly, for most copies I've seen, it appears to be easier to just grab a knife and shave some of the plastic off to get it to do that right. Other than that, you're kind of on your own on that, on getting that to actually go. Then legs, you want to rotate them around fully, and then just close them, tab them, rotate them around, close them, tab them, and then take his arm and make sure it's on. Didn't mention this. Arm is packed separately. It's just on a 5mm peg, so it can come off. And then you can kind of position the arm however you want, depending on what you're trying to go with. I'll just pose it like this for now. And that is Scavenger in his alt mode. In terms of the way his alt mode looks, I do like it. It looks good. Honestly, it's probably one of my preferred looking alt modes, because I think it looks pretty much exactly like it should. Hold on. It looks pretty much exactly like it should. You know, looks like very clearly this is a excavator. And I do like how much articulation the arm has. That's really nice. I think he looks good. I think overall his alt mode looks good. It's not quite as fun to me as like long hauls, because I love the deluxe scale dump truck. I think it's super fun. But this is really good. And when I get to Mixmaster in like a week, hopefully, you'll see that I do really just like Mixmaster's truck mode. And Scavenger is good, though. And I mean, I can't say much else. He's an excavator. He does have a little bit of weapon storage, this 5mm port here. You can obviously just stick weapon in there like that. You know, just like the rest of the Constructicons, his weapon storage is not particularly well thought out, and it's just there for the sake of being there. But it's time for the port that people really want to see, which is getting him into Combine. Combine mode, just like Bone Crusher, is really simple to go from, or go from vehicle mode into. So what you want to do is you just want to fold up the arm, then you want to untab the legs, and then you want to pull out this entire chest piece, close that, rotate it to the left, and then you can close the legs back up. And then, actually, before you close the legs back up, make sure you fold that down, close the legs, fold the foot, like that, and that is Scavenger in, his alt mode. Obviously, he's just like Bone Crusher. He has the elbow bend. Technically not a full 90, and that's even worse when you actually have Devastator's arm on him, or like the hand wrist piece. Yeah. I'll talk more about the actual attachment process when I actually do the Devastator video, in hopefully 2 weeks. But yeah, that's it for Scavenger, I think. I mean, there's nothing else I really want to say regarding Scavenger. He's a chill figure. I would, just like with all of the Constructicons, I would not recommend buying them individually. Buy them if you want the set. So hopefully they do a box set. Although when they did like the Bayvorce Devastator, they did a box set after release, so they'll probably do a box set. I will say I'm really happy to have Devastator done, and Scavenger is definitely not the worst. I would still say he's second worst, just because there's no way he's worse or he's better than Scrapper. I like both of the Commando figures, even though Hook's a little limited in articulation, even for the Constructicons. And I just love the long haul figure. He's definitely my second favorite. And then Mixmaster is definitely just the best one, like overall. And I'll talk about that again, hopefully in a week. But yeah, that's it. In just a second though, I do want to talk about what's going on with me. What I just went through is an exercise in why I should script my videos instead of just winging them. I just recorded an entire part where I just rambled for like 7 minutes about stuff. So I'm going to keep this a little bit more brief. In terms of what's going on with me, nothing, really. Nothing personal, at least. It's really just a situation of... I think anyone that's tried to make YouTube videos can tell you that, especially when you make videos of something that you really enjoy, it can often burn you out really quickly. That's what's happened to me. That's why I often take so many breaks, and why I take so many long ones. Like this last one, which was, I think, over 2.5 months, probably close to 3 months. It's a tendency that I have. It's not a good one, but at the same time, I don't get paid for this, so I don't care. I just want to say that I think in the future, I'm going to pull this channel away from trying to cover anything and everything that I can to just covering what I want to cover. You know, I'll cover combinal teams because I think combinal teams are awesome. So I'll obviously cover Bruticus next year, but I was going to cover them anyway because I really like Bruticus. So even if that ends up being terrible, I'm going to talk about that because I love Bruticus. So if that's terrible, then of course I'm going to talk about it because I love that character, and if they do a bad version of them, then they do a bad version of them. But I just wanted to say that I'm going to try to do stuff that I like that'll often lead to whiplash or just kind of confusing bounces between videos. Like I'll have a week where I'm talking about some random deluxe figure that came out like half a decade ago, and then I'll go to my next video and it's like me talking about Metroplex or something, and if I can ever figure out how to record a 2-foot tall transformer. But I just want to say that, and I will get burned out from time to time, but goal is to avoid that happening to the same degree as this. So I'm going to try to just keep positive for the most part, and keep doing what I really like. You'll see me pull out a Combinal Wars Bruticus at some point, because I really like Bruticus. Again, I just want to talk about him. And that'll just how it is. Videos will fluctuate in length also. Obviously, I've posted videos before upwards of 40 minutes. Last week's video was less than 10, and it's also my most well-performing video so far. Did I say last week? It was not last week. My last video. So yeah, videos will fluctuate in length depending on what I have to talk about. If I have a figure I have a lot to say, like again, Metroplex, if I do a Metroplex video, that video is going to be long because I'm going to have a lot to say about him. But, you know, if I'm talking about someone like Cosmos, I need to do a Cosmos video. I really like Cosmos. That's as simple as that is. I really like him. That's it. So, so yeah, obviously these will still be reviews, but that's just how it is. And so if you would like to just see more content from me, I say content in air quotes here, I would suggest going over to my TikTok. It's slow over there sometimes, just like it is over here. Definitely not as slow, but it's a good way if you just want to vibe. And obviously, at a certain point, I'll start like streaming over there or something, and that's the case. And that's the case. And then you guys get to talk to me more often. But it's already going longer than it should, so I'll just say, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like it if you liked it. Subscribe if you watched this, liked it. Go watch another video, see if you like that one. Then subscribe. Yeah. Hope you have a good night, good day, good morning, good afternoon. I don't know.